Assalamu alaikum, this is Maria Zulfikar welcoming you to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the top stories. Consumers advise to remain aware about price hike through artificial crisis as edible oil supply adequate. Information and Broadcasting Minister urges chartered accountants to become strategic consultants alongside completing financial accounts properly. Posts and Telecom Minister emphasizes use of information technology for fishermen's protection in deep sea and tourism's development. State Minister for Land and Hill Tracts calls for creating regular science practice opportunities for students. Three lakh children to be vaccinated against measles in Chattogram city from April 20th to May 20th, informs City Mayor. US and Iranian officials start direct trilateral talks with Pakistan in Islamabad. And BCB announces squad for first two ODIs of three-match series against New Zealand. Viewers, those were the top stories. Now moving on to the details. Consumers and concerned citizens have alleged that dishonest traders are attempting to create an artificial shortage of edible oil in recent days in order to drive up prices. However, dealers and retailers deny the allegation, insisting that there is no actual shortage in the market and that supply remains sufficient. They said misinformation about a supply crisis has led to confusion, prompting many consumers to panic buy more oil than necessary. They have urged the public to remain cautious and avoid unnecessary buying. A visit to Karwan Bazaar, the capital's main wholesale and retail market, showed that edible oil supply is mostly normal. Traders said they are getting slightly less oil from dealers than required, but bottled soybean oil is still being sold at the government set price. In contrast, loose oil prices have increased beyond the set rate. The price of loose soybean and palm oil has risen by 10 to 20 taka per liter. Consumers alleged that a group of traders is manipulating the market through various pretexts. They have called for stricter government action against dishonest businessmen. Although products are available, observers believe stronger government monitoring is needed to prevent artificial shortages and rising prices. A pilot program of the QR code-based Fuel Pass app is underway to ensure discipline and transparency in fuel distribution. The number of users is gradually increasing in this initiative, which has started at 2 filling stations in the capital. Fuel distribution through the app is currently ongoing at the Trust filling station in Tejgaon. From today, the program has also been launched at the Shonar Bangla filling station in Asad Gate. Customers can now register via the website and receive fuel according to their allocated quota by scanning a QR code. This reduces the chance for excess fuel collection and brings greater discipline to the overall process. Officials said this digital method is enhancing transparency in fuel distribution and making monitoring easier. However, it may initially pose some challenges for elderly users or those less familiar with technology. Meanwhile, monitoring across the country has been strengthened to ensure discipline in the energy sector. According to the Energy and Mineral Resources Division, from March 3 to April 7, a total of 469,042 liters of illegally stockpiled fuel were recovered through enforcement drives. During the same period, more than 7,000 drives were conducted and over 3,000 cases were filed. Information and Broadcasting Minister Zohiruddin Chopon urged chartered accountants to become strategic advisors to organizations, alongside efficiently carrying out financial accounting tasks. He made the call today at the 22nd convocation ceremony of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh (ICAB), held at a hotel in the capital. The convocation speaker was Professor Solimullah Khan of the Department of History at North South University. At the event, certificates were awarded to students who completed the CA course between 2023 and 2025. In his address as chief guest, the Information Minister also urged chartered accountants to develop skills in line with emerging technologies. The sale and submission of nomination forms for BNP party candidates for the reserved women seats in the 13th Jatiya Shongshad are underway for the second consecutive day. On this occasion, a festive atmosphere is prevailing at the BNP Central Office in Noyapolton in the capital. The three-day process of selling and submitting nomination forms will conclude tomorrow. In the allocation of reserved women seats in Parliament, the BNP-led alliance will receive 36 seats, the Jamaat-e-Islami alliance 13 seats, and independents 1 seat. On the second day of nomination form sales, BNP Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kabir Rizvi said that women leaders who were actively involved in past movements would be considered the most deserving candidates. He hoped that competent women leaders would represent both the party and the country effectively in Parliament. After a long waiting, there is widespread enthusiasm among women leaders to secure their representation in the 13th Jatiya Shongshad. Nomination seekers also expressed their commitment, stating that if elected, they would dedicate themselves to the welfare of the country. Minister for Posts, Telecommunications and Information Technology, Fokir Mahbub Anam, emphasized the use of information technology for the protection of fishermen in the deep sea and the development of tourism. He said this at a meeting titled Internet for All, held at the conference room of the Deputy Commissioner in Cox's Bazar today. He said when fishermen go out of the network in the deep sea, they become isolated. For this reason, the government has taken the initiative to quickly solve this problem by using its own satellite technology with the help of fishermen. The minister said that the current government is committed to providing internet services at the doorsteps of the people. High-speed internet will be ensured in all important public places, including hospitals, in phases. At the same time, the minister suggested increasing the use of information technology for the development of tourism in Cox's Bazar. Deputy Commissioner Mohammad Abdul Mannan presided over, while Posts and Telecommunications Secretary Abdul Nasir Khan, Superintendent of Police A.N.M. Sajidur Rahman, senior officials of BTCL and local business leaders were present on the occasion. Later, the minister met with officials of various departments of the Posts and Telecommunications Department, including BTCL, Teletalk and Submarine Cable at the Cox's Bazar Hilldown Circuit House in a view exchange meeting. At this time, the minister said that the main goal of the government is to provide high-speed internet and digital services to the doorsteps of the people. He urged to quickly improve the quality of services of BTCL and Teletalk, and also directed to launch modern multifaceted services to reduce the losses of the postal department. The minister said that all departments must work together to build digital Bangladesh by creating employment in each service sector and recruiting skilled manpower. Prime Minister's advisor Rehan Asif Asad and Posts and Telecommunications Secretary Abdul Nasir Khan were present at the meeting. Stressing the importance of creating opportunities for regular science practice for students, State Minister for Land and Hill Tracts Affairs Barrister Mir Muhammad Hilaluddin said if facilities are required for this, cooperation will be provided. He said this at the prize distribution ceremony of the 10th National Science Olympiad and 10th National Science Quiz competition organized by the Upazila administration in Hatazari of Chattogram today. The state minister said students are thinking in various ways to solve the country's problems, which they have highlighted at the science fair. He said that science practice topics should not be just formal. These topics should be the subject of regular practice. The state minister distributed prizes among the students participating in the Science Olympiad and Quiz competition. Upazila Nirbahi Officer Muhammad Abdullah Al Momin presided over, while teachers and students of various schools were present at the program. Later, the state minister handed over sewing machines to 15 underprivileged women at the Upazila Parishad conference room. Besides, the state minister inaugurated the widening work on Anandobazar Road in Thala Union of the Upazila and the Shorkarhat-Peshkarhat connecting road. Chattogram City Mayor Dr. Shahadat Hussain said 3 lakh children aged in 6 months to 5 years in Chattogram will receive measles vaccinations as part of a nationwide program starting April 28. The mayor gave this information at a press briefing on the occasion of the closing ceremony of the colorectal cancer awareness program at the City Corporation building in the city. This program is celebrated throughout the month of March around the world, focusing prevention of colon and rectal cancer, early detection and increasing public awareness. According to the press briefing, the month-long event was organized by the Chittagong City Corporation, private hospital CSCR and educational institution PGS Academia as a first step. The program provided free medical services and advice to about 2,000 patients. Of these, 4 were diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Doctors at the program said that colorectal cancer is a preventable disease, and if detected at an early stage, the chances of recovery from this disease are about 90%. Therefore, expert doctors advise to undergo regular screening and lead a healthy lifestyle. The 15th International Women's SME Trade Fair organized by the Chittagong Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry has begun. City Mayor Dr. Shahadat Hussain inaugurated the month-long fair at the city's Railway Stadium Polo Ground in the afternoon. Member of Parliament Abu Sufyan, President of Chittagong Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry Abida Sultana and other leaders were present at the event. Entrepreneurs from China, Thailand, India and Pakistan, alongside participants from Bangladesh, are showcasing their products in the expo. Around 350 stalls and 20 pavilions have been set up at the fair venue, with 100 stalls reserved for women entrepreneurs. Now, international news. US and Iranian officials have started direct trilateral talks with Pakistan in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad. Officials from Washington and Tehran earlier spoke with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. As talks get underway, US President Donald Trump said in a post on Truth Social that Iran are losing big in the conflict. Earlier, US Vice President J.D. Vance reached Islamabad to lead the ceasefire negotiations, the highest-level talks with Iran since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Before departure, he said, "If the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we are certainly willing to extend an open hand." High-profile Iranian officials have also reached Islamabad for the ceasefire talks with the U.S., including Tehran's Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Meanwhile, Lebanon's Health Ministry increased the number of people killed from Israeli attacks across the country on Wednesday to 357, warning that the death toll is not yet final as more victims are being found and identified. The Lebanese and Israeli ambassadors in the U.S. held a phone call in first reported direct contact between the two countries before ceasefire talks are expected to be held in the U.S. next week. Israel and Lebanon's ambassadors to the U.S. have agreed in a first phone call to meet in Washington on Tuesday to seek an announcement on a ceasefire on a date to begin direct negotiations. The Lebanese presidency made the announcement earlier. A senior presidency official told the media negotiations could only happen with a ceasefire in place. Israel's ambassador to Washington later confirmed that formal peace negotiations would begin with Lebanon, but added that Israel refuses to discuss a ceasefire with Hezbollah. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had authorized direct talks following what he said were repeated requests from the Lebanese government. Israeli airstrikes on Lebanon are continuing, as the Lebanese Health Ministry said the death toll from Wednesday's massive bombardment had risen to 357, with 1,223 people injured. Lebanese Health Ministry said the toll is still not final due to the ongoing removal of rubble and the presence of a large amount of human remains requiring DNA testing. Pakistan Navy rescued 18 sailors, including nationals from Bangladesh, after a commercial vessel encountered distress in the northern Arabian Sea. The rescue operation was launched after an emergency distress signal had been received from the merchant vessel MV Gold Autumn. The ship was located about 200 nautical miles off the Pakistani coast in the northern Arabian Sea at the time of the incident. According to a statement from Pakistan's military, the rescued sailors include citizens of Bangladesh, China, Myanmar, Vietnam, and Indonesia. All 18 sailors were later safely evacuated and brought to Karachi, where they are receiving medical treatment.